Another Kennedy is running for office. This time it's Jack Schlossberg.
Who?
Yeah, John F. Kennedy's grandson.
I'm running for office because 250 years after our country was founded, we're in a crisis, unlike we've seen before. It's a serious moment, and it's a crisis on almost every single level. It's a cost of living crisis driven by the president's big, beautiful bill, which is historic cuts to social programs that make life more affordable for working families. Healthcare, education, childcare, all been cut. It's a corruption crisis.
Well, the wannabe congressman, which we, by the way, very fun to debate, known for his woke online political takes, is no fan of President Trump or his appreciation for the Kennedy family.
He's so obsessed with the Kennedys and the Kennedy name and the Kennedy brand that he caged one and put it in his cabinet, a rabid dog in his cabinet, put a collar on my cousin RFK Jr. and has him there barking, spreading lies and spreading misinformation.
Well, he's not only mean-spirited, modern Democrat. Just ask Jack's cousin-in-law, Cheryl Hines.
The Republicans have been very kind to me from the beginning. Even from the beginning when Bobby was running as a Democrat, they weren't mean.
No.
And they never have been.
Joining us now is brilliant mind and Podcoast host Ben Ferguson. How are you?
Good to see you.
So is this really, is this kid really legit? Biggest crisis in 250 years?
Yes. It's like he just Wikipedia'd that a moment ago, right? And ChatGPT'd it and said, what do I say when I go on TV and do an interview? And by the way, people are obsessed with my last name, and I'm running and telling you what my other last name is, so you'll be obsessed with me. Like, that's pretty hilarious. And like, it's also really creepy. I was talking about his relative being in Trump's cabinet. Like, I don't know what this guy does behind closed doors, but like, let's leave the collars and all that back behind closed doors. This is the new part of the Democratic Party that I think terrifies me the most. It's dead. It's these socialist, communist, woke people that wake up one morning like, hey, I'm going to say America's evil, America's bad, we're in a crisis, whether they believe it or not, and that's how you run. And it's like, well, what do you actually want to do for the country? You notice in everything he just talked about there, he didn't talk about what he wants to do. It's just Orange Man's still bad. It worked last time, we'll do it again. Anyone that works for the Republicans are evil or stupid or dumb or a dog, and they're being held hostage in his cabinet. And so I would ask him a question like, what do you actually believe in? I would love to know that.
I guess it's like, hey, I'm better than Jerry Nadler because I don't have dandruff on my jacket. That's the only thing that he can come up with. If you've watched any of this guy's videos online, I just can't get off of social media. Somebody needs to put that door back on the hinges, as my mother might have said.
It goes back to, I'm being serious. These candidates are now running. Where are the journalists who just say, like, tell me what you believe in? Yeah. What would you change? What would you do differently? And when they say this is the worst it's ever been, give other examples. Okay, so was it this bad when X, Y, or Z? None of them are challenged, which is part of the reason why you see them rising to the top of the Democratic Party. No one's policing the Democratic Party. Chuck Schumer is like enemy number one in the Democratic Party. Why? Because he literally doesn't hate America enough. And he doesn't want to destroy America enough. And so now the Democrats are like, well, we hate this guy because what? He didn't vote with the Democrats. Like, he literally voted to keep the government shut down. But this is the new litmus test of the Democratic Party. Do you hate this country? Do you hate Trump? Then we'll let you run for office.
How long before he starts referring to himself as...
A Kennedy?
Yeah, Kennedy Schlossberg.
Yeah. You're going to hear the word Kennedy a lot more than... Yeah.
Because if you squint, he doesn't look like a Kennedy. Nobody knows who he is other than Caroline's kid.
Yeah. I think the one thing, though, that we do have to focus on is the American people, particularly after this shutdown, want maturity and professionalism. And pointing at people like we're in the schoolyard isn't going to get them anywhere, ultimately.
If you go through his social media, he's neither.
Well, don't worry. He'll disavow all that, just like Mondani did, right? No, I didn't really mean that when I said I wanted X, Y, or Z, or I wanted to take away houses from wealthy people, or I wanted to kick everybody that actually has a job out of New York City, or I want to abolish the police. Like, this is the other problem, is no one's held accountable for what they actually said.
Right.
Moving on to this Texas congressperson, Jasmine Crockett, complaining publicly about having to spend thousands of dollars on security staff while spending more than $25,000 this year alone on luxury hotels and car services, Ben.
Yeah, you got to have
That's
a nice
your
car.
state,
You
buddy.
got to have a nice car when you're going from meeting to meeting, and you can't stay if you're a congresswoman in anything less than a 5-star hotel.
Need those
Like,
high
that's
thread
just how
count
this
sheets.
works.
I need those high thread count sheets, Ben.
And let's be clear, a lot of the people that are getting security now, they would not get it if they had to pay it out of their own pocket. A lot of these Congress people that do it, I'm sorry, it's Entourage 101. It's like, how do I look like I'm a bigger deal? You roll in heavy. And I think, you go to the private sector, go look at all these people that were using their campaign funds to protect themselves. And they don't ever do it when they leave office, because when they leave office, they're like, wait, I'd have to pay for that myself. I can't afford that. But they have no problem using their money for this now. And then they complain about it. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, if you want to have an entourage and that's what it's about, then the best thing to do is get a guy that's like your body man.
Yeah, I think the issue for me is if you're leading people, whether it's in a business or in politics, the example that you set by how you run your own business, whether you're frugal or how you're responsible with your travel, sends a big message. And when affordability is as big of a deal as it is, to spend thousands of dollars, whether it's AOC or Bernie Sanders flying private or her staying in expensive hotels, you want to be tone deaf, that's what you do.
Well, and she's also the same person her own staff can't stand her. They've come out talking about how she's never in the office, she's never prepared for her actual job in Congress, but the only thing she yells about, is angry about, is if she's not on TV enough.
Yeah.
Social media Congress people, that's the Democratic Party right now. It's pretty sad, and we wonder why the government shut down.
Yeah.
I know they're staring at themselves in their phones all day.
That's all they care about. They don't care about America. They don't work. They don't even do legislation anymore. They just want to be famous. And they're like, I'll run for office, and then I'll have a staff that will get me on podcasts and TV shows. Like, if you want to be famous and Instagram famous,
Right.
then do that. But they're literally holding America hostage. They just did it with a shutdown. They don't care about Americans. They
Thanks,
don't.
Ben. Appreciate you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.